Okay, final
Yes.
day of GRIMMFEST. We're
Final
here
day.
with Matt Stuertz. This is the debut screening.
World premiere, yeah.
Yeah,
Tonight
world
She
premiere
Comes.
of Tonight She Comes. And we've just come out. We've left a group of people shocked, devastated, and rolling in the aisles.
Yeah, it sounded like it. I love the response that I got. It's like lots of people laughing, just like, what the f***? And
Well,
just like going crazy.
The film takes the best parts of 70s and 80s horror. You take the idea of a cabin in the woods, you completely turn it on its head and give it a modern twist. So how did you go about setting this one up?
Oh man, yeah, I guess it was just kind of like taking some of my favorite films, which are of like different subgenres, and then just being like, this doesn't usually go in a slasher film, but screw it, it's happening. And I was even, talking to you earlier in the week about how like I like to write in a way where I'm just like, what's gonna happen? No idea. Let's just,
Brilliant.
I'm just writing. It's like, okay, then we take a left turn here, U-turn here, right turn, etc. So it just kind of goes all over the place.
So, I mean, you can't do that without having a really intrinsic knowledge of the genre itself. Is this something that's been ingrained in your psyche for a long time?
Yeah. I'm like, love horror so much. Like, honestly, I'd never want to make a film that's not horror in some way. So it's just like, if I have to see a film and it's not horror at all, I'm just like, oh man, come on, just throw some horror in there.
Awesome.
So it's just, and slashers in particular, like my favorite subgenre for sure.
That definitely comes across because not only is the horror and the fear and the tension there, there's a little bit of nudity in the movie.
Just a little bit,
just a smidgen.
Just about all of the characters get naked at some point, and one's naked the whole time.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a nod to Tobe Hooper's Life Force in that respect.
Yeah, Life Force. I saw it kind of late in life, but I loved it so much. It was like nearly a perfect movie for me. So I'm like,
it's outstanding.
I love this thing.
It really is. So one of the other things that comes across in the movie is the balance between the horror and the humor.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering how you sort of go about getting that tone right, because when it's wrong, it's really wrong. Not in your film, but when people try to balance the horror comedy aspects.
Yeah, totally.
So how do you keep that to a?
I guess for me, I like to make the characters not realize they're being funny. So it's like they are saying stuff that's funny to us, hopefully, and like by the response, it seemed that people did find it funny. But yeah, they're kind of like staying realistic, within the genre, so hyper stylized, realistic. But they're not trying to like wink at the camera and just they're not trying to like nod at the camera and be like, hey, this is a joke. They're just saying ridiculous stuff that will make people laugh. So I was super happy to hear like laughs right in the middle of like the craziest stuff, and like someone would say a line and like everyone laughs.
Brilliant. One thing I really took from it was you had so much focus on making the best third act possible.
Oh yeah, totally.
And this is really where a lot of horror films fall apart.
Yeah.
So what measures did you take to ensure that you didn't lose the people in the final hurdle?
So yeah, that was a huge thing when I was writing the script, because I do know that like a lot of films are like, oh, fantastic, until like the final 10 minutes are just kind of like mediocre, and you kind of like lose the characters. So mainly I wanted to keep the characters funny and quirky, even in the end when like the crazy happening. Yeah. So they're still having fun, for the audience, and it's kind of that. And then like the final moments of the film was something that was always in my mind. Like, I love ending a horror film on like a crazy kind of like shocking moment, and I just
certainly achieve here without going into too much detail.
Right. So I think just by amping it up, so it's like it literally does just get crazier and crazier and crazier, and even like the score and like the sound design, it just gets louder and louder and louder throughout the film. So that was definitely something I had in mind of just like ramping it up right all the way until the end.
Fantastic. And just a final note on the score, you have this wonderful 80s influenced synth-led score. Can you tell us a little bit about who you got for that?
Yeah, this guy Wojciech Golczewski, and he's done We Are Still Here, Beyond the Gates, which I just saw, fantastic score. And yeah, I contacted him real early on in the process, and I was just like, I want this thing to be crazy, like hard-hitting synth, like don't give me anything that's not from a keyboard, just like
awesome.
But 80s without being exactly 80s, so kind of like a modern twist on 80s.
Well, it certainly works. It's been one of my personal highlights of the weekend, and I wish you all the success in the world with it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt.